Hey, you said your name was Boji? Care to tell me who built these giant temples? They are truly astounding. Though I wonder how big their egos must have been.
Oh, massive, believe me. Especially that of the one who ruled this place. These temples were built for the Elisine, a culture that lived here way before your time.
Elisine? But why is everything so big?
Well, because they were gigantic. Almost 2 to 3 times your size.
2 to 3. That is hard to imagine, particularly with you next to me.
Understandable. But I tell the truth, they were truly impressive. Not only their bodies, but also often their minds. Most of them were alchemists, you know?
Alchemists, huh? Probably believe themselves to be above everything else.
Most of them did. Yes.
How unsurprising. Beyond the gate waits your first trial, but the way is barred. Yeah, you don't say. Do I really have to go there? Why can't I just leave?
Because you are bound to the valley, Farron. Really, I wouldn't recommend it.
Whoa! Where did you come from? And how do you know my name?
You said it yourself? In the cave? But trust me, you can't leave. Not without losing your life. And this time it would be permanent, because I wouldn't be able to follow you as I am bound as well. Closer you get to the border, the weaker you get. Your heart slows down, your spirit fades, until you do your last and final step over the border.
But then what am I supposed to do?
I told you, didn't I? There is someone who can break that connection. Someone I want to reach as well, though for other reasons.
Then tell me where to find him instead of giving me some riddles about a guardian I have to be.
Your savior sleeps in the spire in the middle of the valley. The one that blasted you away, remember it? But I can't enter it. And you can't do it either. Not the way you are now.
That barrier around it. What does this have to do with me?
That's a long story. I'll tell you on our way to the gate, because we really will have to beat that guardian creature behind it.
We? No. There is no such thing as we. I don't plan on carrying a burden with me.
Oh, a burden? Without that burden, you would still be lost, though, trying to escape the valley which would kill you. That is, if the others don't. And who will revive you again if that happens?
Just spit it out. You need me. For whatever reason.
Yes, I do. And it is a reason I will explain if we travel together. Besides, we have the same destination, so why wouldn't we? Isn't it useful for you to have a guide who knows his way around here?
I can't believe it. Fine. Do what you want. This doesn't look like the other structures these Elisine have built. Oh, it reminds me of...
The central spire? Yes. Seems like Tezuth, the ruler of this area, built this so the Acreans could still continue their rituals under his rule.
Wait, Akrians? Who are they?
Oh, true, you wouldn't know. We already talked about how the Elisine who lived here were gigantic, but they weren't the only inhabitants of the valley. There were also the Akrians, who resembled your people, a lot smaller. They used the central spire to release dead spirits into the flux, an energy that flows through this valley, which keeps everything alive and in balance.
That seems unlikely.
You don't have to believe me, but that very flux energy is what I use to vanish and appear again. I see you're still skeptical. Well, you will come to accept it with time. Open a new path here. Looks like we can't just keep going. I was sure we would get to water split from here. Maybe we can find a way through the convergence. Just continue straight.
So much for you knowing the way around the valley. If there is another way out of this region, why do I have to beat that general anyway? You said we can't enter the spire right now, but you didn't explain why.
We have to defeat the general to be able to enter Tezuth's palace.
Tezuth? The one you called ruler of this place? Why should we go to him? I thought the goal was to defeat the general so we can get out of here and to the spire.
Tezuth is one of the 3 keys we need. Another foe we have to fight, so we can enter the spire where our savior rests.
Again, you aren't making sense.
You wouldn't know what makes sense right now anyway. Go to the convergence. I'll explain more there. There it is, the spire. Inside our helper rests the sage, my master. If in deep sleep or dead, I do not know.
Wait, he's dead? How is he supposed to help us then? And you didn't tell me we were going to your master.
As I said, I do not know if he is dead. And who it was seemed of little importance to you, since I don't recall you ever asking. Either way, when we are there, we should be able to revive him. But because of certain precautions, not everyone is able to just waltz into his spire. Only those who have mastered the 3 elements that form the core of Ikria, like Ere did, are able to enter. Which means I will never be able to go alone.
3 elements?
You have them in you right now. The stone in your chest is made from all 3. Insium, Manonite, and Jinnan. This makes it possible for you to master them, if you beat their current masters. They each learned to control one of the elements many centuries ago. One of those is Tezuth, the champion. And that giant palace you saw that you couldn't enter? That was his. So our goal is still the same. We beat the Guardian General of the Temple so we can enter and defeat Tezuth. And afterwards, we'll find the other 2 masters.
That sounds like a heck of a lot of work to regain my freedom. I never wanted to learn mystical powers or become master of some element. It's a responsibility I never wished for.
The sage once told me that often there is a price to freedom, but many don't know what that price will be.
Some price it is, to die and be forced to fight through a crazy valley with a talking wolf.
I prefer to be called by my name. I believe so do you, Farron.
I understand.
Anyway, let's find another way back to the forest, and then we will find that general. Thank you, Koreans, for all the gifts you left the valley.
Is the spire that interesting? Seems like you can't take your eyes away.
It is my birthplace, my home, yet it is impossible for me to enter.
Doesn't look like a wolf den. What? Isn't that the place where wolves are usually born?
It's my second, to be precise. Your description of me as a wolf wasn't too far off. Before I lived my life as a pupil of Ere, I was a mere wolf of this valley. When I died, Ere found me and decided to revive me, sending my spirit through Jinnan back into my body. While he didn't anticipate how much it would change me, he seemed happy with the outcome.
So the greatest pupil was created as an experiment by that great sage Ere. What he did wasn't for you, but for himself.
Don't talk about him that way. You have no right to do so.
That... I didn't mean... Do I need permission to talk about him? I'll be sure to ask next time.
You can stay here for a while.
Hopefully you are right this time.
Hopefully we can get to Water's Split from here.
So we made it here. What now?
No, don't sulk. Let's continue. Beautiful, right? The river carries its name well.
I've seen so many rivers, I stopped really looking at them. I admit, this is definitely one of the more beautiful. We are here. What now?
I think the Heaven's Climb temple in the back is connected to the main one by a bridge. It's collapsed quite a bit, but hopefully the elevator is still working.
These Elisine, you called them, right? Their buildings are all wonders. Such things can't be found outside of this valley.
I guess if there was one thing that Tezuth truly understood, it was how to present himself and his people. If only he'd put that to better use.
What better use than this could have been? He built something eternal, something stable and true.
Someone who doesn't know the entire story would say something like that.
Then tell me the story. You always keep things to yourself.
And I do so for good reasons. I follow what Eri taught me, which is...
Sure. If you don't want to tell, don't sugarcoat it.
Let's go this way, Farah. Thank you, Ukrainians, for all the gifts you left the valley.
Look at this. So this is Tezuth?
It certainly is. Only he would present himself in such an overdrawn way.
He seems so powerful. Can you imagine what one could do with so much power?
Yes, I can more than imagine it. What would you do with such power?
I don't know, but I finally would be someone. Someone that isn't laughed at for her lowly origin, not ordered around by others that believe themselves to be higher. There'd be no rules that I would have to follow.
And if the rules are for the good of everyone?
You've never seen the world outside, right? There are no rules like that. Never were. Everybody just lives for themselves.
Is that so? I believe I need some time to think, Farron. Alone.
What? Boji? Boji! Of course, just leave. That's what everyone does in the end. But it's my fault, as always. Damn it. And I learned something new. Oh, shit.
You can't escape!
You wanna fight?
Where is this? Am I inside a cage?
If you really want to know, yes, you are inside a cage.
Boji, you came back.
Never really left. Like I said, I just needed some time alone.
But why? After what I...
As the sage believed, no. We're only getting to know each other. And I have to admit, not everything was perfectly handled. Apart from that, it feels bad when someone you know gets captured under your nose. Who would have thought?
So we're fine.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it that, as you are mere hours away from your execution, but... yeah, we're fine. And now, let's get you... out of here. You didn't think such a simple door could ever stop the only student of the great sage, did you? Ah.
So, these giant, Elisine, who were they? Or what?
The Elisine. They were led by the four most excellent of their people, who were called Tezuth the Champion, Uskal the Protector, Ingla the Seer, and finally, Ere the Sage. All the Elisine were brilliant alchemists, but none of them was as proficient as these four, especially the Sage. This valley was unimaginably precious to them, for it harbors 3 metals of immense worth. For that, they didn't even mind sharing the valley with the Acreans. Despite their differences, surprisingly, the Acreans and the Elisine got along well.
What happened then?
It is a complicated story, and as such it deserves time to be told. I will just say this much. In the beginning, all was well. But don't worry, I will tell you more later.
Oh, I hate waiting, you know that?
Oh yes, I'm beginning to see that. Ah, I remember the time vividly. When the first generals were created, they were Elessene like Tezuth himself. But to win the upcoming war against Uskol and Ingla, he transformed them. Not like he was the only one who had that idea, though, as the other two did exactly the same. He made those poor Elessene slaves to his will, banishing their spirits into the flux as only an energy source for the soldiers he created. Part stag, part Insium, and a part of Tezuth's own spirit to control them.
These generals, they sound like monsters.
If they're monsters, what does that make me? In many ways, I'm the first of their kind. Since they were made after my image when Tezuth and the others first saw me.
Oh gee.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We have a mission, remember?
You said?
Better shape, yes.
This shouldn't even be possible.
Is it as impossible as a talking wolf? What you see now are glimpses into the glory of Tezuth's era. Beautiful, isn't it? I suppose Tezuth was that arrogant for a reason.
We continue now to his palace, right? The one you first guided me to?
Correct. There awaits Tezuth, and if you defeat him, you will be the sole master of Insium.
But I think I should also explore a bit now that the temple has changed. I mean, how often do you get the chance to walk over flying ruins?
Well, a bit of training with your new ability certainly won't hurt. And I can't deny, I'm also curious what wonders Tezuth might have hidden here.